Good morning and welcome to a beautiful Sunday morning. I just thought I'd film a little quick clip showing or explaining my electricity usage. So I have an EV, a Tesla Model 3, which you can see parked all the way out there. I charge it on a wall socket, which you can see, voila, which is a 15 amp socket that I've taken off the switchboard in the house. So I've just run a cable underneath the house and I've created a wall socket out there. And that allows me to charge my Tesla using the house electricity, and it usually takes about 2 days, and I'll explain why that is. The reason being is I'm on an AGL power plan, which has really cheap electricity between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. And that's when I've scheduled my Tesla to charge. And so between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. Every day, I only pay 8 cents per kilowatt hour, which means that it costs me about $5 to charge my car from 0 to 100, and that's over 2 days. So it will cost about $2 one day and then maybe $2.50 the next day. I also have a Bluetti AC 200 Max, which is a battery, which can be charged either through house power, through the grid. It can be charged through a cigarette lighter or solar panels. I use the solar panel version, or way to charge. And as you can see here, I have 4 panels from a place called King's Adventure store. They are 200 watt panels, and they charge up my battery, which is situated just here in our little laundry. And basically the solar panel cable comes into here, it charges, so you've got other ways to charge. And through the battery I run this plug, which runs to a power board over there, where we charge not only, or plug in not only the vacuum cleaners, the kettle every now and then if I've got a heap of power to spare, and also the washing machine and dryer are plugged into that. This yellow and black cable is a high ampage cable that runs underneath the house through to one side of the house and comes into the side where I plug in the fridge as well as microwave, and it runs all my IT. Give me a second. Voila, here's the fridge. Here's the yellow cable coming in underneath, coming through the window, and that runs all my screens and IT equipment in there. I have another cable coming out, so I've got 4 outlets in total that I can plug stuff in, which are 240 volts. And the third cable runs through and into our bedroom, where we charge or run 2 lamps, bedside lamps, as well as a fan and cables to charge our phones if we don't charge them through here. I've got my watch charger here, so I just plug it in or just put it onto the little plate here. The Bluetti also has wireless charging, so I can just place a phone on these pads and it can charge up really slowly. I've got a little battery pack that I can attach to my phone that I just leave plugged in and then use when necessary. I have USB-A points, a USB-C point, which is 100 watts, so I can charge up a laptop, for example. And just showing you here the power coming in. It's 9:30 in the morning, and there's not much sun or not much UV. I've got 33 watts coming in. I've got 37%, which is from overnight, and I've got 140 watts going out, which would be these 3 things plugged in, as well as things like phones and battery packs. We also plug in things like speakers and stuff into here, so it all charges from here. We also have two e-bikes that we charge overnight. They have a little timer plug that puts everything in standby during the day and activates between 12 and 6 when I have the cheap electricity. And that means that we pretty much every morning the bikes are fully charged and ready to go because we use them to ride to work or commute to work every now and then. And they're fully charged every morning, so they use up hardly any power. So it's really, if I look at the power usage, I'll put up a little chart over here that will show you how much we use. We're using about 30 to 40 cents per day, and that's with charging everything, which is phenomenal compared to before I got the solar panels and was using the Bluetti. We'd be spending anywhere from $2 to $3 per day, so it's a big difference. I also have an e-scooter that I charge. I mostly charge it at work, which is very convenient. So we've got charge points. I can just plug it in when I get to work, and by the time I'm finished work, it's fully charged, and that will take me to and fro work. So I hardly ever have to charge it at home. It's only when I do bigger trips that I have to actually worry about it. And so that gives you an idea for people who are hesitant to delve into the EV world. It's not as expensive as it's touted by mainstream media. So, I mean, I wouldn't recommend getting an EV if the only opportunities to charge are through superchargers, if you have a Tesla, or through public chargers. However, if you have home charging available, it makes it so much more convenient. You are waking up pretty much every morning to a fully charged car, which will take you, for my model, about 450 Ks. And the times that I've had to use superchargers is only when I've done longer trips. Recently, we did a trip up to Brisbane. We stopped over in Sydney, and so it took us 2 days. But the Tesla system to navigate and schedule charges is second to none. All done through the car's interface. You just plug in your destination and it'll work out how much time you need to spend at each charger, where you need to stop to charge. It tells you the availability of the chargers throughout the day, so you can see and have an idea, and it plans your route accordingly. You can choose whether you want to make it a fast trip, so spending less time at the chargers. You can choose how much charge you want once you get to your destination. So it's all planned within the app. It's all seamlessly done for you, and it's really easy to plan. So that's my take on electricity. Electricity prices are obviously rising, and in the future I'd love to be able to expand my solar panel use. However, being in a rental, I don't have many options available, and were it my own place, I would put the panels on the roof to be fixed, and I would be able to then switch from grid to solar panel use primarily, and also get a bigger battery that I can store a lot more power. Now, a lot of you may be asking why I don't charge the Tesla through the battery, and that is because the Bluetti battery is only a 2,000 kilowatt hour battery, which means the Tesla being a 60 kilowatt hour battery, I'd only get something like 6 to 10 kilometers out of that, so it doesn't make it worthwhile. And were I to get like a fixed system for solar panels, I would get something like a 40 kilowatt hour system, so that I could charge at least most of the car and run pretty much the whole house off that. And then, excess energy would get stored within the battery, which I can then dribble out to the car. So once I get my own place, hopefully that will change and I'll be able to expand the system. I definitely see the benefits. And as I said, with electricity prices rising, you need to do everything you can in order to minimize the expenditure. Hopefully that answers a few questions. If you have any more, please feel free to ask. Happy to answer.